Beneath all that bravado and grandiosity in the man, oh, he can't live without that narcissistic supply, or she can't live without that narcissistic supply, right? And when a relationship begins to fall apart, ooh, they begin to fall apart. There's a sense of insecurity. Okay, in the previous video, we talked about, can the narcissist be codependent? I want to give you a quick refresher. I'm Dr. David Hawkins, director of the Marriage Recovery Center and the Emotional Abuse Institute. Remember that these two entities, the codependent and the narcissist, are quite distinct, quite different, but the narcissist actually can have traits of codependency, and I'll talk about that in this video. Look forward to your responses, your reactions. All right, remember that the narcissist is identified by traits such as lacking empathy, inflated sense of self-esteem, a sense of entitlement. They are dominant, they are defensive, they are dismissive, the 3 Ds of narcissism, which I've talked about in a previous video. Distinguished from the codependent, this is a highly sensitive person who lacks a healthy relationship with themselves. They tend to be people pleasers. They tend to defer to others. They tend to not have a good sense of what they want and what they need in life. They tend to struggle in getting it. And so they are prone to low self-esteem. But now I said, interestingly enough, there can be a blurring between the two, or an overlap. A lot of folks would say, no, the narcissist can't be codependent in any way, shape, or form. Well, there are some similarities. And in the previous video, I said 3 of the similarities are a need to feel needed, a sensitivity to criticism, and enmeshed relationships. And yes, if you look closely at the narcissist, whether male or female, whether parent, whether coworker, whoever it might be, you will see some of these traits. I want to give 3 additional traits now. And this is really worth thinking about and unpacking. So the 4th similarity or commonality in the 2 entities, insecurity. Insecurity. Oh, yes, beneath all that bravado and grandiosity in the man, oh, he can't live without that narcissistic supply, or she can't live without that narcissistic supply, right? And when a relationship begins to fall apart, ooh, they begin to fall apart. There's a sense of insecurity. So they're really both tend to lack a healthy relationship with one's self. Some have called narcissism an absence of self-love. Number 4, abandonment fears. I know I hear a lot of folks say, oh my goodness, if the narcissist is rejected, they will just go out and find a new narcissistic supply. That is certainly sometimes true, but sometimes they just fall apart. They really don't want to be abandoned, and they will clutch and claw and grasp and struggle to keep the relationship intact the way it is because that's the way they want it. All right, abandonment fears. Common, very common in both codependents and narcissists. And last, number 6, an over-reliance on others. An over-reliance on others. They have a need to be dependent in some way. Narcissists may look very independent, but underneath it all, there really is a lot of dependency. They really need to be in relationship, just like the codependent needs to be in relationship. Both struggle when the relationship begins to fall apart. All right, again, what are the commonalities? Commonalities are need to feel needed, being very overly sensitive to criticism and any kind of assault on their personhood, enmeshed relationships, an underlying sense of insecurity, a sense of unwell-being. Now, there isn't a calmness under the surface with either the codependent or the narcissist. Fears of abandonment, being left, being alone. And yet both, by the way, feel alone when you look below the surface, and an over-reliance on others. All right, so back to the question, can a narcissist be codependent? The answer is the narcissist can't be a codependent, but the narcissist can have traits of codependency. The codependent does not have traits of narcissism. So they are very distinct. The codependent doesn't lack empathy, doesn't have an inflated sense of self-importance, doesn't have a sense of grandiosity, doesn't have a need for dominance and dismissiveness and control, doesn't have a sense of entitlement. So they are very, very distinct, and yet there are some areas of overlap. In my treatment with the narcissists, they really do need to work on empathy. They really need to work on having a healthy sense of self. They need to really work on dealing with their abandonment fears and all of the other issues that I've addressed in this video. All right, I look forward to your reactions to this video. These are complicated questions, folks, very complicated, and yet we can find some answers, and the answers will bring clarity, and the clarity will help you find a new direction in your life. All right, if we can help, contact us, and I look forward to your reactions. As always, take care and God bless.